I think it's interesting. It's interesting, like how things get framed, right? By the media, how things get used, how things like even programs like Sanctuary City, how does it then get manipulated and used as like a negative thing, or is a thing where one party feels like, well, I better declare as this or I'm going to be out of the money, whatever the next thing is. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's definitely an incentive structure among politicians to advocate for certain things. But ultimately, I don't really care what the incentive structure is if the legislation is good, if it's a good thing. If Trump were to do a good thing, I would advocate for it as well. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's true? Because it seems like
I have in the past when Trump last time he was president, when he basically said, I'm going to back away from this North Korea, South Korea shit, and I'm going to let you guys handle it on your own. Mm-hmm. And in the process, he actually reduced the military campaigns that were taking place around the Korean Peninsula to allow these two countries to talk to one another. It's one country technically that we fucking cut in half, but that's a long history lesson I'm not going to get into.
North Korea and South Korea?
Yeah. And that was an objectively good thing. Like I said it at the time, I was like, and Rachel Maddow was very mad. He was like, oh, you're doing this because you love Vladimir Putin or whatever the fuck. But like, no, that was not a bad thing. Like, let these guys hash it out. And let them rebuild their nation. You know, why the fuck are we like? Why do we have 80,000 to 100,000 troops stationed all the time? You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels alarming. It feels like you have to have this military thing. I think one thing that I noticed last night was like the military has had a tough time getting recruits, right?
Yeah,
recruitment has been down.
Yeah,
and so part of me always wonders, well, like. Did the powers that be then want Republicans to be in office because they know that eventually, if people are believing more in their country again, it will incite more recruitments? I'm not saying that that's the truth, but you just start to wonder what the fuck is really going on.
I'll tell you what made recruitment numbers explode.
Does that make sense to you, though?
I mean, I know where you're coming from, but what made recruitment numbers explode initially was 9/11. That's it. People joined after 9/11, and after 20 years of just like going out there and guarding like poppy fields and getting your dick blown off by some fucking dude who's hated you because you invaded his country when he was like 14 and probably killed his cousin. After 20 years of doing that, everyone was like, oh, this shit sucks. We kind of lost it here, huh? Like we did a Vietnam and Afghanistan and we had to pull out. So, and that was a good thing objectively. I think it's good that we pulled out of Afghanistan. But I think that's the real reason why people are like, why the fuck would I join the military? I can't even get a fucking Charger anymore. You know, they stopped,
Dodge Charger,
the Dodge Chargers, or was it the Camaro?
Were they giving those out?
They were. That's the common military car. You
that's true. Huh?
You sign off on one of those, the worst loan of all time.
Oh yeah, dude. And
then your high school sweetheart is fucking the neighbor while you're out there.
Sometimes, I mean, yeah.
While you're out there jerking off in a fucking bunker in
but some
Korengal.
dude's jerking off on you or whatever, and you guys are changing each other's names after 8 p.m. or whatever and shit. I think shit gets pretty melodic out there.
That's what I mean. You're like, why the fuck are you doing that? And then you come back and the American government's like, all right, we'll give you health care. But now you're busted. You need it desperately. And they're like, all right, we'll pay for your college. Okay, you go to college, you get a communications degree. Now you're, 6 years behind the rest of your counterparts, and you're in the same shit ass job market, working, sucking the man's dick every day, working a dead end job that you despise.
Yeah, or maybe
you're fucked up. And now every time you go to the grocery store to pick out cereal, you're having a crisis, like a mental health episode. It's fucked up.
Well, or a lot of people will also go into the military, learn some patterns that help them to achieve well. My buddy Josh was in for a while. He got out, and now he's able to be a good business owner because he learned, he got up in the morning. It helped him have some regiment.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think that regiment is bad. I'm a very regimented person. I just think that the military's output overall is you're just sending poor people from different parts of the country overseas to go dominate some other poor people so that rich people in fucking California can make more money. So the Raytheon can send more missiles and make more missiles. And you got to use those missiles when you make them, If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, yeah. Your missiles are going. There's somebody said there was an email one time that like, oh, your missiles are expiring soon. You should use them. It's like, what the fuck?
But they do that. If you got homies who were active duty, they'll tell you like you just dump so much money because they know that like it's gonna go bad.
Yeah,
like you just fucking shoot it out into the sea. If you're in the Navy, you're just
to pop that bitch off. Get out there. After lunch today, we're gonna fire a couple of these off at an island. You're like, that's an island. Like nobody's there.
Yeah,
like, well,
you're dumping payload into an island that is more than your salary times 10 because it's gonna go bad. How is that not waste and fraud and abuse?
I agree.
Why the fuck are they not working on that? My argument always is this: the American military is a jobs program. That's what it is. It's I think it's the second largest hiring body in the country after Walmart. If I'm not mistaken, it might be the largest. And I think instead of making those guys, making these corn-fed boys from Arkansas go out and force them to eat MREs all goddamn day and be constipated for a fucking week, make them build shit, make them build shit in America. It's a jobs program. Who cares? Make the output be good rather than bad. That is what my argument is.
The world's biggest employer is Ministry of Defense, U.S. Department of Defense.
The Indian Ministry of Defense is the largest, and then the world's second largest employer. All right, I guess the U.S. Department of Defense is bigger than Walmart.
Walmart and Amazon. No, man, that's a great point. I think, and I wish I knew more of what some of those groups did a lot of times.
What, the military?
Yeah, but I agree with you. It's like, I agree the fact that why does the voter, why does the gun carrier, the water carrier, you're always at this, it's a caste system really in a lot of ways.
It is.
Those are the people having to do the bidding of these elites, of these countries and stuff like that. But then at a certain point, it's like, do I decide this is my, what integrity or what do I want to have inside of myself when I'm doing that? I could be all day like, fuck, I don't want to be doing this. This country's a piece of shit or whatever. Or I can have pride in what I'm doing no matter what in the spot that I'm existing in this sort of strata, right? And I stand up for my country. And it's just, as we get more information, it's just, it's fascinating how things change.
I just want,
or how things you learn more.
I don't hate people. I just want them to have better lives. You know what I mean? Even people that I disagree with vehemently, like I always stress this point where I say Medicare for all means for everybody, right? Even if you're a fucking Nazi, you're going to get healthcare. Even if you don't want healthcare, I'm going to fucking give you that healthcare.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Okay. You can cry about it all day, every day. It's just, and I think that's the attitude that other people are supposed to have in this process too. Like there's got to be a universality to these proposals because like, I think we got to do right by others, and we are not doing that right now. The American government is not doing that, and at every step of the process. And that's why the military is a great example of this. We're just using and abusing these dudes and making them do a whole lot of awful shit overseas so that some rich asshole can make more money. And then they're broken in that process. They come back. There's no way of like repairing them, and we basically lie to them too. We're like, oh yeah, you'll get a great job, you'll go to college, you'll be able to uplift yourself, and it's like that should be available without you having to serve in the military.
Yeah.
But if that was available, if free college existed, if free healthcare existed,
you wouldn't go to the military.
And no fucking buddy is going to the military. Why the fuck would you do that?
Unless you had some real gunners. Unless you had some cool Call of Duty, Verdansk, Modern Warfare dogs.
But I mean, yeah, those guys are.
But I'm saying you would still have some. Right?
Yeah, you would, but
I agree. It wouldn't be this
significantly lower.
It wouldn't be this system that gets kind of manipulated and used.
That's why they don't want to fix it, though. That's why they don't want to give free health.
But that's why they don't want to fix so many things. Like that, and that's what I'm saying. We learn more as we learn more about it. You start to see some of the clarity, or some of. You learn more, you have more information, but then how do I operate still when I have that more information? Like, it's tough because if I become a nihilist or, then I'm miserable. My day to day is miserable, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying how do we manage in those spaces as we learn more?
I don't know. I'm fairly tapped into all of the shortcomings of the American government, and yet I enjoy myself. I mean, I still jerk off before I go to sleep. I still watch anime. I play basketball. I focus on myself. I think like there are certain things that you have control over, and that is your own body, right? Your immediate friends and your family, and you should actively work on those things to basically not lose sight of your own humanity, because it's easy to get lost in the sauce, in the everyday cruelty that you recognize is happening all around, and it makes you go crazy. And in order to combat that, I always urge people to engage in self-improvement, set goals for yourself, and try to achieve them. That's at least how I've always managed this stuff. And also being around other people who aren't immediately agreeing to your worldview. Like I love parks for that reason. I love third spaces. No, not like Parks and Recreation as in like the TV show. I mean like literal public parks.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.